Suppose we wish to determine values on an F distribution for specified x values and degrees of freedom. Consider the following example. Suppose we wish to determine the y value on an F distribution with 4 degrees of freedom in the numerator, 7